Good morning, children. Welcome to DEO Nalgonda English online classes. It's Anuradha before you to deal with 10th class students. Today, let us discuss B reading. Every success story is also a story of great failures from Unit 1 Personality Development. In this reading, let us know about the failures and success of great personalities. And the author of this lesson, Shivakir, says, if you think you will be lost, you are lost. Success begins with a fellow's well. It's all in the state of mind. But sooner or later, the man who wins is a man who thinks he can. And now, talking about this reading, there are many ways to succeed in our life. Failure is the highway to success, Tom Watson Sr. said. In his words, if you want to succeed in your life, double your failure rate. So, if we go back to the history, you'll find that all the stories of the success are also stories of great failures. But people behind us don't see the failures. They only see one side of the picture and they say that person got lucky. And people says, he must have been at the right place at the right time. But if we read life history of some success people, we can find there are many failures behind these success stories. Now, let us know about Abraham Lincoln. He is the man who failed in business at the age of 21. He was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22. He failed in business at the age of 24 and he overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age 26. He had a nervous breakdown at age 27. He lost a congressional race at age 34. He also lost a senatorial race at the age 45. He also failed in an effort to become vice president at age 47. He also lost a senatorial race at the age 49. He was selected President of the United States of America at the age of 52. So what do you say, children? But to Lincoln, defeat was a detour. Detour means a route that is used when the usual one is closed and not a dead one. So, we can take the life history of Abraham Lincoln as an example. And let us move on to the other success story of Lee D. Forrest. In 1913, he was the inventor of the triodes tube. But there was a defeat in his life. He was charged by the district attorney for using fraudulent means to mislead the public into buying stocks of his company. And he was publicly humiliated. He would not have been famous without a failure. And now, moving on to the Wright brothers, talking about the success story of the Wright brothers. While they were inventing a New York Times editorial on December 10, 1903, they questioned the wisdom of the Wright brothers. They were trying to invent a machine which was heavier than air that would fly. But the editorial, the New York Times, questioned him. But 1 week later, at Kitty Hawk, the Wright brothers took their famous flight. Now, we'll talk about Colonial Sandals. So at the age of 65, he has realized that he had to do something even at that age. So with a beat-up car and $100 check, he thought of doing something. So he thought, and he remembered his mother's recipe and went out selling, and he had knocked more than 1,000 doors before he got his first order. But we can say he is a successful man. If we see or if we talk about the Walt Disney, who is a cartoonist, as a young cartoonist, he faced many rejections from the newspaper editors who said, "You are not talented." They said he had no talent. But luckily he got a chance. A minister at a church hired him to draw some cartoons. So, he was working out a small house near the church. After seeing a small mouse, he was inspired. That was the start of the Mickey Mouse, and that was his successful career in his life. When we talk about the Thomas Edison, he was a partially deaf 4-year-old kid. And you know, children, one day he came home with a note in his pocket from his teacher. So, what did the teacher write in his note? Let's see. It was a note to his mother. The teacher wrote that, "Your Tommy is too stupid to learn. Get him out of school." So, mother did not get disappointed. His mother, Tommy's mother, answered back to the teacher, says, "My Tommy is not stupid to learn. I'll teach himself." You know, children, Thomas Edison, he had only 3 months of formal schooling. And in spite of that, he became a successful person. And talking about Thomas Edison, in 1914, at the age of 67, lost his factory, which was worth a few $1,000,000 on fire. It had a very little insurance. It's a great loss for Thomas Edison. So he watched his lifetime effort going up in smoke. But he said, there is a great value in disaster. He also said, all our mistakes are burnt up. So let me thank God we can start anew. In spite of the disaster, there was a success behind his failure. And so, after reading all the life histories of successful people, we have seen great failures behind them. So, coming to the conclusion, success people do not do great things. They only do the small things in a great way. How do they succeed in their life? They succeed in spite of problems, not in the absence of them. That means, without the problems, there is no success. So, all the success stories are stories of great failures. Every time they failed, they bounced back. So what is this called as? This is called failing forward rather than backward. So, we should learn from these successful life stories that learn and move forward in our life to succeed something. Learn from the failure and keep moving. There will be no disappointment in our life. And also, we'll talk about the other famous personality, that is Henry Ford. He has forgot to put the reverse gear in the first car he made. But he was a successful person. And here are some of the examples of the failures of the success people. Let us read out, children. Thomas Edison. He failed approximately 10,000 times while he was working on the light bulb. And Henry Ford was broke at the age of 40. And Lee was fired by Henry Ford too at the age of 54. And Young Beethoven was told that he had no talent for music, but he gave some of the best music to the world. So finally, what should we learn from these successful stories of the great personalities? We have to learn from the experience. So, from the experiences, from our past experiences, we should know that setbacks are inevitable in everybody's life. So, a setback can act as a driving force and also will teach us humility. In grief, we will find courage and faith to overcome the setback. So finally, we need to learn what for? To become victors, but not the victims. So Napoleon Hill, a famous personality, wrote, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve." So he also says, the motivation to succeed comes from the burning desire to achieve a purpose. And Socrates said, when you want success as badly as you wanted the air, then you will get it. That is the secret of success. There is no other success. So, finally, what is success? It's a burning desire. It's the starting point of all the accomplishment. Just like a small fire cannot give much heat, a weak desire will not produce the great results. So, thank you for listening to me. Good morning, children. Welcome to DEO Nalgonda English online classes. It's Padilla Anuradha before you to deal with 10th class students. Today, let us discuss C reading. I will do it from Unit 1 Personality Development. So the title itself suggests that I will do it. So if we have the willpower, we will do it. We can do it. We'll achieve anything. Is it so, children? So anybody can do anything. So look at the slide. C reading. I will do it. Before move on to the C reading, let us know about the author, that is Sudha Murthy. Sudha Murthy is the wife of N.R. Narayana Murthy. She is an Indian social worker and author. She is also the chairperson of Infosys Foundation, and she has founded several orphanages. She has participated in rural development efforts, and she has also established the Murthy Classical Library of India at Harvard University. And the present story, I Will Do It, is a selection from one of her successful stories, that is How I Taught My Grandmother to Read, and other stories. Now, in this C reading, we are talking about Narayana Murthy. He is Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. As all of us know that he is the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world, and he is not born rich, nor he is not born poor, but he is the son of a school teacher, and he showed other Indians that it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically by his hard work. And at the end of the story, we will know how out of his hard work he became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. And also, he has become an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality, and fairness, apart from being a philanthropist. What do you mean by philanthropist? One who devotes his service or wealth for the love of mankind. So, let us read about Narayan Murthy. He was short, he was sharp, and he was the brightest boy in his class. His seniors always used to ask him to solve their difficulties in science. And he could have gone unnoticed in a crowd, but once, if we asked him the questions related to physics and maths, there was a spark in his eyes. So, he could grasp the theories of science faster than the speed of the light. He was very happy to answer the questions related to physics and maths. He came from a poor but educated family. And coming to his family, his father was a high school teacher and he was an avid reader of English literature. So, Narayana Murthy, like all other boys in his class, he was trying to get admission into some engineering college. But as he was the brighter ones, he wanted to study in Indian Institute of Technology, that IIT. So there was an entrance for IIT and Narayan Murthy along with his friends appeared for the test. They did not have any special books nor the coaching, but all these IIT aspirants, they would sit below the shade of a stone mandapa close to Chamundi Hills in the sleep town of Mysore, and Narayan Murthy was guide for the others. While everyone struggled to solve the problems in the question papers, but he would smile shyly and solve them in no time. He sat below a tree and would always dreamt of studying at IIT. Ultimately, at the age of 16, he was the guide for the others to solve the problems in the question papers. And the D-Day came. He has appeared for the exam. And finally, the IIT entrance results came. And Narayan Murthy had passed with a high rank. So he was thrilled. He went to his father, who was reading a newspaper, and told him that he has passed the examination and he wanted to join IIT. His father suddenly stopped reading the paper. He lifted his head and looked at the boy and said with a heavy voice, "My son, you are a bright boy, but you know our financial position. I have 5 daughters to be married off and 3 sons to be educated. And you know, I'm only a salaried person. And I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. It was very difficult situation for any father to say no to their bright son. But his father had to tell the bitter truth to Narayana Murthy that he cannot afford his son to study in IIT to meet the expenditure. And the boy, Narayan Murthy, has to understand the reality. The teenager was literally disappointed. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. He was so near to fulfilling his hope, but his heart sank in sorrow. But he did not reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody, as we know that he is an introvert by nature. His heart was bleeding, but he did not get angry on his father nor with anybody. Finally, his classmates were leaving for Madras to join in IIT. So he went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them for their future generation. At the station, his friends were excited, talking loudly, discussing their new hostels, new courses, etc. But Narayan Murthy was not part of it. He stood there very silently. One of his friends asked, "You should have made it." But there was no reply from Narayan Murthy. He only wished all of them. They waved at him and the train left. So it was in the June of 1962 in Mysore city when all his friends joined in the IIT, but Narayan Murthy could not join because of the financial position. And it is not the institution, he thought. Ultimately, it is you, and you alone can change your life by hard work, he said to himself, without anger or jealousy. He said, all the students from the IIT study well and do big things in their life. But it is me, it is not the institution. But I alone will work hard and will do it something great. Probably Narayana Murthy was not aware that he was following the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself, and your worst enemy is yourself. So later, he worked very hard and he focused on one thing, never bothered for his personal life or comforts. He never shared his wealth with others. He never used the help of any caste, community, or political connections to go up in life. Finally, Narayana Murthy became a pioneer of India's software industry and started the information technology wave. So, listening to the story of Narayana Murthy, what is it we can understand? It is you. You can make your life achieve. You can do it. If you say, I'll do it, definitely you will do it. So, Narayana Murthy believes in the motto, powered by the intellect and driven by values. So, ultimately, after listening to the story of Narayana Murthy, we can say that we should be confident on ourselves. We should work hard. We should believe in yourself. Respect yourself. Respect your values. Respect the society. Work hard. And if you are confident enough, if you think you can do it, definitely you will do it. Ultimately, he says, It is you. You alone can change your life by the hard work. Dedication is important. Very, very important in one's life where we can achieve anything in our life. So, it was the ultimate aim of a bright student of Narayana Murthy. Finally, we can see that he is the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. Thank you. Thank you for listening me.